Okay, let's continue on with operations with integers and one variable equations. Okay, so in the previous video we did 7 plus 5. We know that is 12, right? And we said when you're adding plus, we count to the right. So you see 7 right there. So 7, and we're going to count to the right 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and we end up at 12. 7 plus 5 is 12. Okay, what if we have like low temperatures and it's negative 7 degrees and we are subtracting 5 degrees? When we are subtracting, we count to the left, like 7 minus 5 will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and we'll end up at 2, right? The same way, if we are at negative 7, right, we are right here, negative 7, and we are subtracting 5. So we go negative 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? And when we're counting negative numbers, these numbers reduce going down this way. So this is negative 12. So you see that 7 plus 5 is 12. It's a positive number and a positive number. You combine, you get 12. And this is negative number minus 5. You combine those two, you get negative 12. You see the difference? Okay, so let's see the difference between negative 7 minus 5, right? The one we just did. And then negative 7 plus 5. So you have negative 7 right here. When we are subtracting, we count to the left, right? So negative 7, negative 8, negative 9, negative 10, negative 11, negative 12. Okay. And what about negative 7 and we are adding 5? How are we going to do that? We are going to count, we are adding. So it's going to be plus 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We end right here. 2. So how do you do this without always going to the number line? Okay, so if you have negative 7, it's a negative number, and we are adding, write this first, right? Plus 5 minus 7, right? Plus 5 minus 7, which is the same as 5 minus 7. You don't write that. So you write your positive number first. Okay, so we know 7 minus 5 is 2. So what if we do 5 minus 7? We are subtracting a bigger number from a smaller number. Okay, negative 2. See, that's what we did over here. So you have a negative number, and then you are adding 5 to it. You count to the right. How do you do it without always going to the number line? Is we have negative 7. Write your positive number first. 5 minus 7, negative 2. Of course, 7 is bigger than 5. 7 minus 5 is 2, so 5 minus 7 is negative 2. Okay, so you know the difference between negative 7 plus 5 and then negative 7 minus 5. Okay, it's a negative number, and you have 2. Okay, so this is the same, it's like you are adding them, and then you attach your negative number, negative 12. It is the same as, what if you're doing negative 5 minus 7? Negative 5 minus 7. It's going to be the same, right? You start, it is a negative number. So negative 5 minus 7. So you have a negative 5 and you are subtracting 7. So you're going to count to the left 7 times, right? Negative and negative. And this will be negative 12. What if you had negative 5 plus 7? What did I tell you? Okay, I said when you're adding, I say write your positive number first. So plus 7, bring your negative number 5. 7 minus 5, 2. Negative number minus the positive number. Negative 5 minus negative 7 minus 5. It is what? You combine the two numbers, attach your negative sign. If you're adding, write your positive number first. Okay, bring the negative sign, and then you look at it. If this number here is bigger than that, then it's negative 2. So try it. Try it. What is negative 8 plus 3? Compared to negative 8 minus 3. What are you going to get here? What are you going to do? I said write that first, right? Plus 3 minus 5. Same as 3, oh, minus 8. Same as 3 minus 8. A bigger number from a smaller number. What are you going to get? Okay, it's going to be negative 5. What about this one here? You have negative 8 and you are going to subtract 3. You're going to count to the left, right? What's the difference? Negative 11. The same as negative 3 minus 8, still the same, negative 11. Okay, let's do this one. Well, negative 11 plus 5 versus negative 5 minus 11. You get the pattern without using the number line. Okay, write your positive number first, plus 5 minus 11. This is different, right? Negative 5 minus 11 is the same as negative of 5 plus 11, negative 16. This is negative 6. Okay, so what about negative 7 plus 11? What are we going to do? We write always, I say what? When you're adding, this sign is plus, write this first, plus 11 minus 7. Plus 11 is the same as 11. 11 minus 7 is what? 4. What about negative 7 minus 11? What are you going to get? Negative 18, right? Same thing. You see the difference? Okay, so I need you to do all these. And I'm going to send you the answer sheet. Okay, now something new. What if I have 8 minus, and then I do negative 2? So I have minus, and then, so it's 2 negative signs in a row. When you have that, join them, becomes a plus. So 8 minus negative 2 becomes 8 plus 2, which is 10. What about negative 8 minus negative 2? So what you're going to do is you're going to join these two negative signs in a row. Make it a plus. It becomes negative 8 plus 2. How do you do that? So the first step, you join it, becomes a plus, this. And then what did I tell you? You write your positive number first, minus 8. 2 minus 8, negative 6. Okay, try this one. Negative 11 minus negative 5. So you have two negatives in a row. Two negatives in a row, right? This is different from negative 11 minus 5, right? This is negative 11 minus negative 5. Two in a row, it becomes plus. Okay, so it becomes negative 11 plus 5. What is that? You write your positive first, minus 11. Got it? Okay, we already know 2 times 4 will be 8. So negative times positive will be negative. Okay, so negative, that'll be negative 8, negative 8. What about negative times negative? It's the same as, so negative 2 times negative 2 will be the same as 2 times 4. Negative 2 times negative 4 will be, okay. The same with division. If you divide positive and negative, your answer is negative. But if you divide two negatives, your answer will be positives. All right, solve the proportion. Let's do this one here. Okay, you have a fraction on the left, one fraction on the right. What comes to mind? Well, what? Cross multiply. How do we do cross multiplication? You see your letter, that's your variable. I'm going to do that branch first. The butterfly, I do that first. 2 times a, we write 2 parenthesis a, that means 2 times a is equal to, I write that first, I put on the left. And then I come this one here, it's equal to 8 times 17. See that? 2 times a is written 2a. 8 times 17 will be what? 136. So Remember, we done one-step equations. 2 times a number is 136. What's that number? What do you call this one here? That's your variable. What's the number that multiplies your variable? What's the name of it? Remember? Okay, so when you get to this step, then what you do is you need to divide both sides by your coefficient to find. So I need you to follow all these steps, okay, and get used to the method. So A then is equal to 68. That's my answer. So you watch the steps, cross multiply. Step 1, I did the part that contains my variable. So 2 times A I put on the left is equal to, I did this butterfly wing here, A times 17. I put it over here. I divide by my coefficient. That's my answer. What about 2/3 of a number? 2/3 of a number A equals 4/5. What do we do? So whenever we write 2/3 A, the A in the middle here is the same as A on the top, right? So every time you see that, rewrite it as 2A/3. Okay, what are you going to do? One fraction on the left, one fraction. What comes to mind? Butterfly. Which portion are you going to do first? Going to do the portion that contains our variable. So it's 2A parenthesis 5. That means times 5 is equal to 3 parenthesis 4. Cross multiply, right? Okay. This is 2 times 5 is 10. So it's 10A is equal to 12. How do we find our variable? We divide both sides by what? The coefficient. So 10A over 10 is equal to 12 over 10. That goes away. A equals 12 over 10, but we need to simplify it. You divide by 2, you're going to get 6 over 5. Change to mixed fraction, 1/5, and the same as 1.2 decimal. All these answers are the same. You get it? Cross multiply. Do the portion that contains your variable. Put it on the left, right? Find your variable. Okay, can you want to try this one here? This says just a 6. Make it over 1. Okay, over 1. Cross multiply. See if you're going to get K equals 10. Let's move on. All right, now we come to two-step equations, but it contains this fraction. You remember what we did? The first step we did was, okay, reverse the operation. It's positive here, so watch the steps. Don't skip any steps. Watch it. The first step is I need to remove this here. So it is plus, so I'm going to reverse it by subtracting. I do that first. Underline it. When I do this, this part here is gone, right? And on this side of the equation, all I have, this is gone. So all I have left is 3 over 5K equals 11 minus 8 is 3. You see that? Okay, and I say whenever you have something like that, it's the same as 3K over 5. And this 3, you write it as over 1. What do? You cross multiply. You do the portion that contains this first. So I have 3K times 1 will be 3K is equal to 5 times 3, 15. And I divide both sides by my coefficient, and I have K equals 5. See? Right, last one. So here it was adding, and to reverse it, we subtracted. Here it is what? It is subtracting. To reverse it, what are we going to do? We reverse the operation first. Underline it, plus 8. That goes away. So on this side, on the left side here, all I have left is 3K over 5. This is equal to 15. And then we make it what? 15 over what? 1. What do we do next? We cross multiply. I do the part that contains my variable first. 3K times 1 is 3K. 5 times 15 is 75. And then finally, how do I get my variable? I divide both sides by my coefficient. So I divide by 3, and I say my variable k equals 25. Are you with me? So keep on practicing, right? Okay, these are additional IXL exercises to do. Sixth grade Z20. Okay, and then we have sixth grade what? R17. Go and practice, solve the proportion. And then I have plenty of exercises for you. Sixth grade N1 to N15. All right, keep on practicing, and all things being equal, you shall what? You shall bloom. Welcome to Bloom Leadership Academy. Have a good day.